He'll be on the mound for the Rebels in the bottom of the first. But it's Kyson Witherspoon here. Kyson Witherspoon has been excellent all over the top three in the SEC. And first pitch swinging, Mitchell Sanford hits a shallow fly ball into left center, chased down by Jason Walk. So it's one pitch and one out for Kyson Witherspoon, who comes in second in the SEC in earned run average. As we look at the Rebels batting lineup, Mitchell Sanford and Luke Hill coming to the plate, riding a 29-game on-base streak. What a run he's on. Furness and Utermark, Isaac Humphrey and Austin Foley. Hayden Federico will be the DH tonight, and then Mormon. And rounding out the nine will be Luke Chang, the shortstop. Kyson Witherspoon. See his brother Malachi, the starter on Sunday, the Twins, but this guy is electric, projected first-round draft pick. Came to Oklahoma last year from Northwest Florida State College. 7 innings of one-run ball at Georgia last weekend.
We'll take a look at his stats. 8-2 on the year, 2.35, as you said. That's good for second in the SEC. 65 innings, 92 whip. He's got 92 strikeouts to 14 walks.
Luke Hill takes upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. The Arizona State transfer. Hill is top 10 in the SEC in walks, hits, and runs. And he can also run. 15 stolen bases. 349 batting average for the year. Finds him 12th in the SEC. Second season at Ole Miss. It's this one fouled toward the Oklahoma dugout over on the third base side. That was kind of the MO for Mike Bianco and the Rebels in the offseason. One of the desires was go out and get older guys who could come in, bring immediate value to this team. And Mormon, Foley, Humphrey have done that this year, and Luke Hill did that when he arrived before last season. Full count.
That's kind of how it's going with everybody, right? Like, especially with the transfer portal, stuff like that. You got NIL. You need to find a guy that fits to your culture, that is going to be a leader as soon as he steps on the campus, and that's what Luke Hill has done.
Full count here to Luke Hill. And there's strike 3 call. First strikeout of the night for Kyson Witherspoon. That is his 93rd on the year.
A really good pitch with a fastball at the knees to get Luke Hill froze. Heavy with the off speed at that at bat. Keep an eye on that, how they pitch him all night.
11 prior starts on the season for Kyson Witherspoon. He's had 7 strikeouts or more in 8 of those 11 outings. And here's first baseman Will Furness. 30 walks for Furness. That's one thing that the Rebels do very well, in particular in SEC play. They've drawn the second most walks in conference play, 105 of them. And on the season, 265 walks drawn by this Rebels lineup. 94-mile-an-hour fastballs, a little bit upstairs from Kyson Witherspoon. Furness out of Nacogdoches, Texas, 3rd season with the Rebels. Two balls and a strike is the count. Oklahoma's defense is a little bit different tonight than it has been regularly because of injury. Get to that here in just a moment. Three balls and a strike. At first base tonight is Mason Hamlin getting the nod down there for the first time. Mentioned that Dayton Taki had a 2-homer game in Oklahoma's series opener against Georgia last weekend. He also injured his left leg on a slide at second base in Oklahoma, hoping to get him back, expecting that he'll be back at some point this season, but unable to go tonight. And so Hamlin starting out there. Drew Dickerson starts in right field defensively for the Sooners as well, as Furness takes a 2-out walk. His 31st. And that gets Judd Utermark to the plate with his 13 home runs. That has him 10th in SEC play.
This is a guy that can hit any pitch out of the ballpark. Middle in, away, heavy to the pull side, but does a good job of keeping the barrel through the zone.
Got kind of I'd call it a gentle north breeze tonight. Are you with me on that one, Brad?
I am.
I mean, I'm no meteorologist.
It has calmed down since BP. It was blowing in about 5 to 10. It's a beautiful night.
At about 80 degrees here at first pitch. Mark swings through that one.
That's the cutter there at 89 on the black. He'll mix that in to get hitters off the fastball. Good pitch by Witherspoon.
One cut on and missed there. Big fastball on the inner half from Kyson Witherspoon.
And that one plays up, right? Throws the cutter at 89 on the outside corner, then comes 95 up in your kitchen.
Upstairs trying to get it with Chase. No swing, says Morris Hodges, the first base umpire. Clint Fagan is behind the plate. Matthew Wilbanks is the second base umpire, and Damian Beal is down the line at third. A 2-out walk to Will Furnace has kept the inning going for Judd Utermark. And Witherspoon strikes him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for the Oklahoma ace. And a man left by the Rebels in the top of the first. Sooners coming to the plate for the first time tonight when we return. They split 2 games in 1994, and Rebels haven't been back since. No score. Headed to the bottom of the first inning. Oklahoma's lineup headed by Trey Gamble, Jackson Willits, and then Easton Carmichael, Sam Christensen in the cleanup spot. A little bit of a late shuffling in the lineup, but Jason Walk is in center field. Kyle Branch, second baseman, who had a good weekend playing against his brother out at Georgia last weekend. And then Hamlin, Drew Dickerson gets the start in right field, and Dawson Willis, the third baseman. Skip Johnson. See Easton Carmichael due up third, riding a 16-game on-base streak. And here is Hunter Elliott, who has been so good throughout his Ole Miss career. Started the national title game against Oklahoma back in 2022. Gave 2 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings. The Rebels winning that one. And he's just gone on like that ever since. What a career he's had, and this season has been no different, Blake.
Yeah, 6-2 on the year, 3.83 ERA, 27 walks to 64 strikeouts. Effectively wild, but the arm angle's a little bit different. Keeps guys off balance. Like I said in the open, he's got a really good move to first base, so he's never really out of an inning. He can always collect outs.
So this was that championship game back in June of 2022. What an outing it was. 6 strikeouts as Ole Miss was able to take games 1 and 2, win the 3 games series in only 2. Hunter Elliott was a big part of that. Goes to work here. Lefty-lefty matchup with Trey Gamble, one of the best in the SEC at getting on base. Gamble on base percentage .503 for the season. That is second best in the SEC. Blake, you were a left-handed hitter as well, and I suppose you still are.
I am.
Just checking.
I definitely am. Yeah.
What is it like facing it? It's kind of herky-jerky, as you said, a little 3/4, maybe sidearm. What makes it different from a lefty's perspective?
Oh, the ball looks like it's coming right at you, and then it ends over the middle of the plate. So you've got to get comfortable with that, right? You got to accept that the ball's going to be coming right at your hip, and understand that if it is coming at your hip, it's going to be over the middle of the plate. If it starts away, it's going to stay away. If it starts behind you, it's going to be on the inside corner.
This one turned on, driven down the right field line, but foul by Trey Gamble. 1-2 the count on the Oklahoma left fielder. Hunter Elliott said he's really worked to get his fastball back into shape. Looked a lot of bullpen sessions, video sessions, just going back and looking. You know, you go back and think, when was my fastball really good? Go back and look at it, see if you can emulate it. And that's what he's done a lot of.
So much technology has helped these guys become more efficient with their, I mean, you'll see spin rates, you'll see spin efficiency, you'll be able to slow down. The Rapsodo stuff is amazing for these guys to be able to perfect their craft.
1-2 remains the count. Gamble. Little up and away. Gamble missed a few games for Oklahoma earlier this season, and just one of those guys, when he's not in there, you notice him even more than when he is in there, almost.
Absolutely. The Sooners kind of go as Trey Gamble goes. When he seems to have an off game, the Sooners are struggling, right? And definitely that 3 or 4 game stretch where he was out, I think it was a hamstring. His presence was definitely missed.
And he's got 3 baseball playing brothers, does Trey Gamble. Brother Tate plays at BYU. His older brother Cole played at BYU for 2 seasons. And they have another brother, Cade, who is in the JUCO ranks. This one hit into the alley in left center field. And almost misjudged out there by Isaac Humphrey, but he pulls it in. Have a late look at it there, just getting acclimated to Elldale Mitchell Park.
You say that, Chad. Elldale plays a lot different than any other SEC ballparks across the league. Everybody's a little bit shorter. We're 385 here at Elldale, 330 to the corners, and 410 to the center. But it doesn't play that big on a normal day. It's normally blowing out 10 to 20. You'll be able to elevate to the left field side and get a home run. So it kind of plays like an SEC ballpark. It just doesn't have that feel.
And on a day like this, it's an atypical one for this time of the year, blowing in from the north rather than out of the south toward left field. Jackson Willits takes a strike at the leathers. Don't think he was too happy about that call. Sophomore from Fort Cobb, son of Oklahoma offensive coordinator on this ball club, Reggie Willits. 0-2 in the air to right, fairly shallow. And Ryan Mormon there to take care of it for the second out.
This is what you'll see from Elliott. It's a lot of weak contact. Guys have trouble picking up that fastball. Even though it's not going to overpower you, it's hard to pick up and it gets on you quick. Good job getting 2 quick outs.
Brings in the Sooner catcher, Easton Carmichael. Carmichael, Oklahoma's leader in home runs with 10, runs driven in with 45. 12 multi-RBI games for the returning All-American Easton Carmichael. He's reached in 16 straight coming into the night. Hit hard on the ground, right at the shortstop, Luke Chang. 1-2-3 inning worked by Hunter Elliott, and no score headed to the second. Game number 1 in Norman between the Sooners and Rebels. 6 home runs as a ball club. That is 4th most in the SEC. In fact, it's 7th nationally, but they've even honed in more in conference play, batting .276 as a team. They are 2nd in hits with 201 and 2nd in walks with 105 in conference play alone. And they can run, not as much as the Sooners like to run, but they've been very good. You talked about the power that they have in the middle of the lineup. Isaac Humphrey coming to the plate has some of it.
Really just an all-around great offensive team. Handle the bat well, know the zone, and do damage in the zone as well. They'll do some small ball, lay a bunt down here and there, but they've really got some big dudes that can swing it well.
Kyson Weatherspoon struck out 2 in the first inning. And that fastball misses upstairs. 3 years at Louisville for Isaac Humphrey. He is a senior from Livermore, Kentucky, and went close to home to Louisville for 3 years. Hit 300 through the course of those 3 years. 18 home runs. It's a veteran guys that we're talking about that Mike Bianco wanted to bring in to make an immediate impact. Ole Miss missing the postseason in 2023 and 24 after winning the World Series, but in position to get back easily into the NCAA tournament this year. There's a strike to make it 3-1. Oklahoma just kind of reloaded after their trip to that finals. They went to the Charlottesville Regional in 2023, and then last year won the Big 12 on the way out the door and hosted a regional here in Norman. And the Sooners well positioned. You know, for these two teams, these final 3 weekends of the regular season are about potentially being a regional host. You look at the RPIs, they're in position to possibly do that. Ole Miss's RPI coming into the night 16, Oklahoma 22. So Blake, that's right in that area. And I know it's not all about RPI, but certainly would help you out.
Yeah, you got to think that anybody in the SEC can.
This one hit high and deep, straightaway right field, and a foul ball. First base umpire Morris Hodges right on the call, and he waves it foul. Now going to get a little dispute there, I think, from Carl Lafferty coming out of the dugout. We see Mike Bianco.
It's gonna be a tough angle to see it there.
Yeah, that's above the foul pole.
Humphrey hits this ball a mile in the air. He kind of backed it up too.
I think all he's asking is, hey, would you guys take a look at it? And it appears as though they will. Now they're huddled up. You see the 25th year head coach of the Rebels, 8 super regionals, national title in 2022, 18 postseasons.
Must not like what he heard.
He's talking with
the rule of foul ball on the home run is under crew chief review.
So the crew chief is reviewing it. Maybe that's what the discussion was. Mike Bianco didn't really want to use his own challenge on that one, and the umpires have agreed they're going to look at it themselves here, Blake.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or have it looked at by the Central Replay Review.
I think that's what Bianco was expecting going back to the dugout, then heard something. Whoa, 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 hey, I don't want to use a challenge here.
I shouldn't have to use
exactly.
a challenge. It's going to be hard to tell, though. We'll get a look at the best replays that we have, but these have always been difficult. I mean, it's kind of an arbitrary line that shoots up into the sky to be able to tell that. You see Skip Johnson looking on as well, and because that ball is well above what we can see on that.
From this angle, you see the I'll call it the net holder, the big green pole in the middle, kind of crosses that, but it could have hooked at the top.
Trying to get a look at it via the Hawkeye review system.
After review, the ball is foul. As a crew chief review, Ole Miss still has 2 challenges.
So there you go. Clint Fagan, our crew chief and plate umpire tonight. So a long, loud strike 2 off the bat of Isaac Humphrey. In the air to left field. The wind is blowing in tonight, so it's a fairly routine play for Trey Gamble for the first out here in the second.
It's a good job by Witherspoon right there, going down 3-0, finding the strike, getting the long strike 2, and then getting weak contact to left field. Trey Gamble making that play for the first out.
Dyson Witherspoon. He and his brother Malachi, who will be the starter on Sunday for the Sooners. Coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. And going into their senior year in high school, they were not highly recruited. They really weren't on the radar, Blake. Not a lot of travel ball played by the Twins. And they just kind of took it upon themselves. Hey, let's lift, let's work out, let's work at it, and see what can happen. And boy, has that worked out.
Oh, they're very competitive within each other as well. You have to know that they're comparing starts on any given weekend just to get a little bit of an edge at the dinner table.
And they've both said that being in the dugout watching the other one pitch, it's harder than being on the mound themselves.
Right. It's a lot of stress. Couldn't imagine. Wonder if they got a little telepathy going on.
Yeah, well, they've used that word, telepathy. Austin Foley, the catcher, back up the middle on an 0-2 pitch, and he has the first hit of this ball game. So Austin Foley comes through with one away for the Rebels. Catcher, Kentucky transfer. It's Guy's hit 7 homers in his last 11 games.
See, that's a good pitch on the outside corner. Foley just using the hands and working it to the middle of the field. Good piece of hitting there.
That'll get the DH Hayden Federico to the plate. Freshman from West Monroe, Louisiana. .96 miles an hour with the fastball. Control not on point yet, would you say, from Kyson Witherspoon?
Yeah, it's a bit uncharacteristic for him, right? Walk in the first inning, got down to a 3-0 count against Humphrey.
Federico couldn't hold up, went around. Count is even at 1-1. Even Federico was a dual threat quarterback in high school. West Monroe High School there in Louisiana. Rebels will run. 62 stolen bases as a ball club. That's 5th in the SEC. But it's the most by an Ole Miss club since 2019. And now 2 strikes on Federico. Foley has not attempted a stolen base this year, so not much of a threat to go. I'm not going to say, well, he is a catcher, because that's not fair to catchers, Blake.
I had to hold my breath.
Federico swings and misses there. 3rd strikeout for Kyson Witherspoon, and 2 gone here in the 2nd.
Get another look at this one. This is a fastball at 97. Carmichael sets up on the black. Little Picasso action. Boom. By him.
When all else fails, just throw that. But not much fails for Kyson Witherspoon. He faces Ryan Mormon with 2 gone. Mormon, an Illinois transfer, 19 home runs there last year. 128 career games with the Illini. Serious pop, and injects some into this one. Deep to left field. I think the wind's going to knock that down just a little bit. To the warning track it goes, into the glove of Trey Gamble. A base hit and a man left for the Rebels, and we're scoreless headed to the bottom of the 2nd. Certainly good to have home field advantage when you're playing in the SEC. This is what Oklahoma has done to this point, winning series against Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. Ole Miss this weekend, and they've got the Red River rivalry getting renewed beginning on May 15th with the Longhorns. Texas this weekend taking on Arkansas. Razorbacks won 9-0 last night. Even the Texas pitching staff not immune to many of the offenses around the SEC. But Blake, so important to protect your home field, and you're going to lose 1 or 2 here or there. But if you can come out of the regular season winning 4 or 5 series at home and stacking up some wins, it's a huge feather in the cap.
Right, 100%. That and avoiding a sweep. You get one, you give one kind of thing, right? You have to be able to play at home. You're not going to go into many environments that are comfortable for you.
The end of the shift, Christensen rolls out. Luke Chang, the shortstop, was over there on the second base side, and he's the one that made that diving play. The shift was on for the Rebels there.
Love watching Chang play shortstop. If you're a young player watching this broadcast, watch Luke Chang. Can really pick it. Good arm, can throw from any angles. He's going to be fun to watch this weekend.
Jason Walk, the batter, Sooner center fielder, in from the right side. Having a very good year. All kinds of speed, but he has shown the power flash this year. 7 home runs for Jason Walk. 1-1 the count. Walk hit 3 home runs all of last year. Guy can just do it all. Skip Johnson has compared him to Brian Cole, guy that Skip Johnson coached, unfortunately passed away. He was in the Mets system. Just had crazy pop. and incredible skills. 2 balls and a strike here to walk. I say compares him to Brian Cole. He has similar skills to Cole.
Cole like 6'5".
He was not. That's just it.
That's just it.
He was about Jason Cole's size, maybe a little bigger. Jason walk. That one comes up and in on him, and he'll head to first base. First base runner of the game for Skip Johnson and the Sooners. Had their midweek game with Wichita State rained out. We asked him, what was it like getting a little time off in the midweek? He said they couldn't get any practice time, couldn't get outside because it was raining so much. They spent a lot of time in the indoor saying, good, good, yeah, right there, good.
A lot of soft toss and just four-seam love, baby.
Walk is a threat to go.
Always preferred hitting in the cage, Chad.
Why's that, Blake?
It sounds so much better. It sounds so much louder.
You were an All-American in the cage?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that hack attack tore me up.
There's Kyle Branch coming off a good weekend playing against his brother, Colby, out of Georgia. Had a good weekend at the plate. 5 hits, drove in a couple of runs. But all that matters is having bragging rights. And it was the Bulldogs taking 2 of 3 from the Sooners.
Yeah, Colby had a good weekend, too. Couple homers. It's fun to watch.
See the Sooners second in stolen bases in the SEC behind Kentucky.
Yeah, 34 in conference play. I feel like a couple weeks, seems like they kind of got out of their element. They weren't running as much, but there was a couple of those games where they didn't have a whole lot of opportunities. Then you see Georgia, they were just laying bunts down, running at will. It seems like that's the team's MO. When they're doing that, they're doing well.
Walk has stolen 14 bases in 19 tries. Kyle Branch, Skip Johnson, he said he sticks out because of just how fundamentally good he is at everything. He's not trying to hit the ball too hard, throw it too hard. Hits this one in the air to straightaway center field. Journeying back a few steps is Humphrey. That's out number 2.
Yeah, it's so hard for a freshman to come in and see the game slowed down, to see what Kyle Branch has been able to do this year. We think he knew that his glove played, but didn't understand how good he was going to be offensively, and he handles his own well. It's like you said, he's come up with some big situations as well. Has got some timely hits and is on time with the fastball.
Mason Hamlin getting the start at first base tonight for Oklahoma. Talked about the injury to Dayton Taki, who went down sliding feet first at second base in the Georgia series. Oklahoma expecting to get Taki back at some point. But it's Hamlin starting at first tonight. Hits this one to right field. Backing up is Mormon, and he pulls it in, ranging backward for the final out. A walk to Jason Walk, but he's left stranded, and we are scoreless moving to the third. Rebels have been good at Swayze Field there in Oxford, including last weekend when they took 2 of 3 from a top 10 Vanderbilt team. Both these teams taking 2 of 3 from Vanderbilt. Here's a look at the home results. Sweep of Missouri, 2 of 3 from Kentucky on the road, and then South Carolina losing 2 of 3 to the Gamecocks. Here they are on the road, and then this is a 6-game roadie, you might say. They'll go back home to Oxford, but it's 6 straight away from home with 3 weekends left in the SEC regular season. Luke Chang, shortstop, the batter, then back to the top of the order for Sanford and Hill against Kyson Witherspoon. First pitch swinging, skies one to right field. Drew Dickerson is out there as it kind of floats over toward the right field corner, and 1 down. So we start to talk a lot more about the postseason and that SEC championship going to take place in Hoover beginning May the 20th. Single elimination. Top 4 seeds get to skip the first 2 rounds, and then seeds 5 through 8 also skip opening day. 9 through 16, you got to play opening day.
Such a tight race in the conference too, right?
Oh, we're going to have tiebreakers applied, and I'm glad I'm not in charge of it. I mean, you just look at Ole Miss's situation. They're in a 4-way tie for 5th with Alabama, Ole Miss, or Alabama, Georgia, and Vanderbilt. Oklahoma's just 1 game in back of that. They're tied with Auburn for what's 9th.
You feel like they put a good conference record together at 11-10. You're winning more than you're losing. You're looking up in your 9th place. It's tough, man.
Here's the way it would shape up if it were starting today. It's Oklahoma would be one of those teams having to play on opening day, and Ole Miss would get the opening night off. Still a long way to go. I mean, there's still 9 games for these teams to play in league action. Who knows what it's going to look like? As Mitchell Sanford fires one out of play. Count is 2-1.
It's going to be fun, though, right? Single elimination, win or go home. Truly excited to watch that.
Sanford flied out to Jason Walk in center field his first time. 3-1 the count to him. Coming into the night, 12 SEC teams were in the top 30 of the NCAA RPI, including both of these teams. These 2 teams are both in the top 22 of the RPI. There's ball 4. That's 2 walks now by Kyson Witherspoon on the night. Walked Furness in the first. He's given up a hit and a pair of walks. Just not as sharp as he's been in most of his starts, at least to this point.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a release issue. Maybe he's trying to do too much. Haven't seen the slider a whole lot. It's been mostly fastball, cutter.
Most walks he's issued in a game this year is 3. And here we are in the 3rd inning. He's given up a pair of free passes. He deals with Luke Hill, who struck out his first time. Waves at a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Hill struck out looking, trying to extend his consecutive games reached base streak to 30. Mitchell Sanford back in on that throw over. He can run. 12 out of 13 in the stolen base department for the Ole Miss left fielder. There he goes. Pitches upstairs and a good one to throw. It's right on target and he's out. Easton Carmichael guns down Mitchell Sanford for the 2nd out of the inning. And only the 2nd time in 15 tries that Sanford has been caught stealing.
Sanford gets a really good jump off a high leg kick from Witherspoon. Carmichael just better on this one. Gets the fastball up. It's easy transfer. Throws right on the money. Branch did a nice job keeping the tag down on Sanford, collecting the 2nd out.
So it is 2 down, bases clear, and a 1-1 count here on Hill. Just kind of flicking that one foul. Good solid crowd at L. Dale Mitchell Park tonight. Still rolling in. First of this 3-game series. Afternoon games for the final 2. Hill hits this one back up the middle. Diving to pull it in goes Kyle Branch into shallow center field. Kyle Branch hanging a star on that one to close out the 3rd inning.
Can't wait to watch this one again. Sprinting to his right, full extension, man. Nice play.
You see what they've done against the top 59 wins. They have 2 top 10 wins earlier this year. So they're in good shape, but certainly over the final 3 weekends, they could play themselves into a solid regional host site, Blake, which they hosted last year for the first time since 2010.
right? With 9 games left in the conference slate, anything can happen. You're looking at maybe 14 teams getting in. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi State, A&M, we'll see. Florida, they probably got a little bit of work to do, but I mean, you got 12 teams in the top 30 of the RPI. 12 are guaranteed at this point, unless a couple of them just completely collapse. And you never know. You can make a run. I will say this, though, you know, if you have to play on opening day in Hoover, it's not as bad a journey as you might think because it's single elimination. You know, you're not going to fall into a loser's bracket, have to play extra games. Now, to win 4 straight, get there to the championship game if you have to play opening night, that's going to be a challenge.
It is, right? But you don't have to find a guy to start the game. You're not using openers. The bullpen's not as taxed on the 3rd or 4th day.
It's almost like a weekend series with an extra game.
Right. Throw your Tuesday guy in there.
And there you go. Drew Dickerson here for the Sooners. 1-2 count. That's fouled off. Fastball living in the low 90s tonight for Hunter Elliott. Man, what a good resume he has. He's developed into a leader. A lot of his teammates listen to what they have to say about him. These are some guys that have been around a little bit. Connor Spencer and others who have talked about the impact that Hunter Elliott has had. He's a loose guy, but holds others accountable.
That's what makes great team great. Guys that police themselves throughout in the locker room, right? The coach doesn't have to be the guy to be the bad guy. Let's bring everybody up, bring everybody along. Let's get our work done, go win baseball games. That's what Hunter Elliott's been doing. He's proven to win big games, and that experience speaks wonders.
He sounds like a young Blake Brewster to me. You were that guy, loose but holding everybody accountable. There's strike 3 called. So Dickerson is out on strikes. That's the first strikeout of the night for Hunter Elliott.
Yeah, looks like the change up to the right-handed hitter. Middle. Looks like Dickerson was just fooled by that, looking something different. Yeah, the difference between me and Hunter Elliott is the fact that guys don't really like
out of the back of his head.
Well, all right, I'm losing some in the back chat, but give me a break. Guys don't like to listen to people off the bench very much. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Elliott only pitches once a week.
Okay, so we are similar.
He is definitely a leader, and he has earned it in this Ole Miss locker room. Dawson Willis stands in, the number 9 batter for Oklahoma. Made a very good defensive third base for Skip Johnson and the Sooners. Bat has been up and down. Looking for that consistency at the plate to close out the year, but Skip Johnson said he got a little confidence, had a 4-hit game against Georgia in game 2 of that series.
It comes in spurts, right? Seems like he gets a little bit out of his element game to game. When he sticks to his approach, which is normally in the middle of the field, he really handles the bat well and does damage in the zone, has some pop.
Strike 1 to Willis. Sooners have had 1 base runner. That was a walk to Jason Walk back in the 2nd. Rebels have the game's only hit. It is so far the pitchers do what we expected between Hunter Elliott and Kyson Witherspoon. This one will slide foul and out of play. Dawson Willis was on a junior college Division II national championship winning team last year at LSU Eunice, a program that has won 8 D2 national titles. Lifts this one to left. Sanford has a good look at it. He'll gently drift in for out number 2. We've seen several balls hit in the air, and it's not a real brisk wind, Blake, but it feels like it's had an impact. You even look right there. Sanford started to back up and then came in a few steps. And you get a look at it. It's only maybe 10 miles per hour.
Yeah, gust up to 15, right? It seems like it's only going to carry to right field. The ball hit to that corner, kind of popped up by Chang, I believe, that just kept carrying. But anything to left is going to hold up. Kind of dead air, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Trey Gamble flied out to center his first time. Pulls this one to first. Easy play for Will Furnace. He says, I got it. And he does. 1-2-3 inning for Hunter Elliott. He's worked 2 1-2-3 innings in the first 3 of the night.
And you know, it's that, you know, the thing about what makes him is it's elite stuff, and it's for 100+ pitches. And so, you know, we've gotten some good swings off him. Unfortunately, wind's, you know, gushing in from left field, and, you know, we haven't gotten anything to show for it, but some good swings. But we got to try to run that pitch count up. The best way to beat him is get him off the field.
100%. What about what do you think about El Dale? Does it play differently than normal ballparks in the SEC?
You know, it's hard. You know, we've played a couple innings, so it's kind of tough to say that. But, you know, the reputation is the wind is a little crazy, where it'll be blowing in one day, be blown out, blown across. But, you know, it's a good surface and a good ballpark. They've got a really good atmosphere tonight. But as far as the ballpark itself, you know, we'll let you know after a couple days.
That sounds good, Coach. We appreciate you joining us.
All right, guys. Appreciate you.
There's the head coach of the Rebels. We appreciate Mike Bianco spending a few moments with us. 25th season at Ole Miss, as his Rebels go back to work against Kyson Witherspoon. How would you try to approach this guy if you were at the plate against Kyson Witherspoon, Blake?
Close my eyes and hope it's fastballs down the middle.
That's better than I've got. Will Furnace takes this pitch downstairs. He drew a walk his first time up. Furnace, excellent eye at the plate. 31 walks. That one fouled out of play. Count will stay 1-2. The Ole Miss first baseman. SEC action tonight heating up. Arkansas and Texas are playing their second game, and then you have the openers for Auburn at Tennessee, Alabama at Vanderbilt, LSU at Texas A&M, Kentucky at Mississippi State. You got Florida at South Carolina, and Georgia is at Missouri. Give you the scoreboard a bit later on, but those are the matchups that we're keeping an eye on. Two balls, two strikes here to Will Furnace. Out in front of that one, and Kyson Witherspoon brings up another strikeout. That is his 4th.
This is what he's been missing all night. This is going to be an over-the-top breaker, dotted up on the black, kind of backed up on him, but gets Furnace way out front. It's way different than 95. Great pitch.
Kyson Witherspoon has given a pair of walks and a base hit. He struck out Judd Utermark to close the first. Deals to him here. Fouled off. Man, that rung the bell of our plate umpire, Clint Fagan.
Now look at here. Utermark on time with a fastball, just misses. There's padding in that mask, but it ain't that much.
Now his partners from down the line are going to come and have a word with their crew chief, Clint Fagan. That's Oklahoma trainer Melissa Hampton, out just to make sure.
It's like, hey, that was 96 in the face. Did I wear it well?
Better than I would. You know, he's kind of checking. He's got the earpiece in as well as the crew chief.
Gannicorn, I'll be all right.
And then we replay it 5 times. Boom. It doesn't feel any better. Utermark, serious power. He puts on an impressive display in BP, Blake.
He really does. Tall, great build, long levers. And I think the pink bat gives him +5 power.
Agreed. junior from Charlotte Christian High School. Played sparingly as a freshman in 2023, then got into the lineup regularly, 27 starts last year. But this year, he's been a breakout. 13 home runs, top 10 in the SEC. One hopper backhanded by Jackson Willits. Just ahead of the final stride of Utermark, second out.
Good job by Willits there in the hole. Utermark runs well for a guy at 6'4", 6'5". Had to be efficient.
Isaac Humphrey, the batter. Ole Miss center fielder. Two gone and the base is empty. Witherspoon settling in. And the 0-1 is a strike. Say went around. No appeal there. Plate umpire Clint Fagan just rung him up, and the count is 2 strikes and nothing on Isaac Humphrey. Humphrey's hit 9 home runs. Rebels have clubbed 86 as a team. That's the 7th most in the country. And that one hit him. Just as we said that Witherspoon was looking a little sharper maybe in this inning. That's the 3rd free base runner that he has given Ole Miss tonight. 2 walks and a hit batsman.
Yeah, he's just trying to establish the inside part of the zone. Humphrey with that elbow kind of out and over the plate. No padding.
Man. It's about 95, 96 off the elbow.
I'm okay. I think I'm okay up here.
Kyson Witherspoon 0-2 counts on all 3 batters here in this inning, but then hits Humphrey and faces Fawley, who has the game's lone hit. Base hit back up the middle. He grounds this one to the shortstop Willits. Easy underhanded shovel there. The Branch inning over. A hit batsman and a man left. Bottom of the 4th coming your way from Norman in a scoreless game.
So these are just 2 questions and out.
Yeah,
my bad.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, we talked to Skip yesterday, and he said they were in the indoors. It rained as well this morning in Norman from about 8 a.m. until 1 o'clock or so. Helps to have turf. But you spend a lot of time in the indoors. That gets old quickly, does it not? What, you like the indoors, as you say?
No, not in season. I mean, I do. In season, you want to be out in the field and perfecting your craft, getting extra ABs, stuff like that. But it's definitely a challenge.
Jackson Willits to the plate. 2-0 the count. He flied out to the right fielder, Ryan Moorman. Jackson Willits in SEC play. He leads all hitters in on-base percentage. Really a mature sophomore season that he's had, and one thing that Skip Johnson has certainly praised him for has been his leadership. You know, a vocal guy that's right in the middle of keeping his teammates honest, so to speak. Pulls this one into left field, and he has Oklahoma's first base hit of the night. Leadoff single for Jackson Willits in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Sooners finally get to Elliott here. This is a fastball, a little bit away, a little hook barrel through the 6-hole. Get that 0 out of the hit column.
Jackson Willits was hitless in the Georgia series last weekend. However, he did have 5 walks, so he's taken advantage of that as he leads off. Perfect in the stolen base department this year. He is 12 for 12. And here is Easton Carmichael. Swings through that one. trying to wait on that pitch, wasn't he?
Yeah, this is a guy that has power to all fields. Carmichael, a little bit of a free swinger, but athletic enough to be so.
Carmichael grounded out to Chang, the shortstop, his first time. Rebels excellent at that right there. And you can see even a little hesitation with Willits getting back to the bag at first. They have picked off 17 base runners as a pitching staff this year.
Yeah, that's one of his better moves. He really used that 45-degree angle to every extent.
There's strike two to Carmichael. Only something that they have talked as a staff about. The first-year pitching coach, Joel Mangrum, he'll make mound visits, but the first time that Mike Bianco has had a real pitching coach, so to speak.
It's another good one over to first.
Easton Carmichael has reached base safely in 16 straight games. There's his brother, Braden Carmichael, and their dad, Darby, played at Oklahoma and coached at Ole Miss. So what a cool night it is. And of course, Oklahoma, they got to have an all Carmichael staff a couple of years ago. We've talked often about trying to find silver linings with the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, one of those was that Braden Carmichael got an extra year of college eligibility as an Oklahoma Sooner and got to pitch to his brother, Easton.
Yeah, I bet you asked Darby if his sons would ever play on the field in Norman together. He would probably tell you no. Thanks to COVID, it happened, and it was awesome.
Easton Carmichael battling away. Takes ball one. Low and away. Hard hit ground ball. Circling it is Chang, the shortstop. His only play is going to be to first base. So Willits is able to move on down the line to second on the Carmichael ground out. And the Sooners have their first runner in scoring position of the night. In fact, it's the first man in scoring position for either team so far.
Good job by Chang there. Slow roller coming at him. Checks the throw to second base and in motion. Finds his target. Makes a strike over to first base for one out.
Here's Sam Christensen. Grounded out to the shortstop Chang his first time. 43 walks for Sam Christensen, third most in the SEC. Throw in behind Willits, and it scoots on into center field. Willits charges to third as Isaac Humphrey comes up with it in center. I couldn't tell if maybe that glanced off of either Willits or Luke Chang. The shift is on, making this little pickoff a little more challenging, Blake.
Yeah, this is tough. Chang gets a good break on it, but it does look like it clips the heel of Jackson Willits. Get a little ricochet. Got to find a way to capitalize right here. Runs are at a premium.
So now the shift is still on, but they bring it way into the Rebels. Utermark was basically playing shallow right field, and now you see how far he has come in. A definite different defensive look.
Well, that was a hard 60 coming into the skirt,
wasn't it? And strike one dealt. Nothing is going to phase Hunter Elliott, though. He's been there and done that. And remember, after that 2022 season when he started the national championship game, he made 2 starts in 2023 and then had elbow surgery and was unable to pitch in 2024. You go through all those things and little things like a man at third with the shift on. That doesn't faze you very much, Blake.
Not at all. His demeanor doesn't change. Gets a get me over breaking ball for strike one. Knows he can get strike one, and now he can go to whatever he wants.
This is pulled foul toward the Rebels dugout. Neither team has a base hit with a runner on base. Those have been hard to come by. Sooners have had just 2 runners on. Rebels have had 4. Each team with just 1 hit.
I'm Christensen. I'm sitting slider. Went to it 0-0, then 1-1. Move that hit spot out.
Way up and in. Willits dashes back to third, and a 2-2 count now.
Just a waste pitch there. I really think he likes the slider to Christensen, left on left.
He goes after that one. Big strikeout there for Hunter Elliott in the lefty-lefty matchup. He picks the perfect time to notch his 2nd strikeout of this ballgame.
There he goes. Shows him a slider. 0-0. This is the good one. Starts middle, ends up on the black. Great pitch by Hunter Elliott. Showing some real poise.
Jason Walk now for the Sooners. Man at third base and 2 gone. Jason Walk drew a walk his first time up. And that allows the Rebels to go back to a regular defensive set. The infield goes back. Willits led off the inning with a base hit. Went to second on a ground ball, and then to third on the throwing error that went into center field by Elliott. Breaking pitch misses a little too tall to walk. That one fouled off up the first base side. We'll do it all over again with a 2-2 count. Jason Walk, even though he has shown the power surge with the 7 home runs this year, speed is his game. There's a called strike 3. So the Sooners get a runner to third, but then Hunter Elliott strikes out Christensen and Walk and puts out the fire.
Just dots up a fastball in the black right.
He has walked 2, hit 1, and given up a base hit. 55 total pitches, 35 of them for strikes. Kyson Witherspoon, he goes to work to Hayden Federico, whom he struck out back in the 2nd. One is pulled foul off the net back screen above the Rebels dugout. Kyson Witherspoon, Malachi Witherspoon, the twins, who will start games 1 and 3, and in between Cade Crossan will be the Oklahoma starter in the Saturday matchup. Rebels starting rotation: Hunter Elliott, Riley Maddox, Mason Nichols, all with experience pitching on that College World Series winning team. And Witherspoon able to fan Federico for the 2nd time tonight.
Just that over the top breaker with a spike curveball. This is a good one too. Fastball out of the hand. Bottom drops out of it. Federico swinging right over it.
5 strikeouts now for Kyson Witherspoon. 97 on the year. And he faces Ryan Moorman, who flied out to the left fielder Gamble his first time up. Both of these teams have had to absorb a little tough injury news here in the last week. We told you about the injury to Dayton Taki, the Oklahoma first baseman. He went down in the Georgia series, but they expect him to be back. Unfortunately, not the case for the veteran Braden Jones, the right-handed junior who made 18 appearances for the Rebels this year, but elbow injury, felt it against Austin Peay in the midweek. Surgery will come, and unfortunately his fourth year at Ole Miss is going to end with that injury. We wish him all the best. Braden Jones, an important part of this pitching staff for the Rebels. Swing and a miss on 0-2. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Kyson Witherspoon. Seems like he's found his groove.
Yeah, I think this is it. This is a fastball up and away to get Mormon. Gets above that barrel with 95. When he's good, he's doing stuff like that.
Here is Luke Chang. He flied out to right field his first time. Strike one comes right through there. Big hack at that one. And 0-2 as Witherspoon took a little bit off that one.
Back-to-back sliders to start this at bat. Can go anywhere he wants with this one. Seems like he's got the good stuff working in this inning.
That one just a bit down and away. Pretty good miss pitch, would you say there?
Yeah, expand the zone into the left-handed batter's box. See if you can get a chase. Maybe fastball in.
Ball and 2 strikes and fouled out of play. These two teams got some cool news, each of them, about former members of their pitching staffs. Doug Nikhazy, the Ole Miss All-American, called up and pitched Saturday for the Guardians, and Oklahoma had Nathan Wiles get to do the same thing with the Atlanta Braves here the last couple of weeks. Good to see those guys rewarded. That pitch up and in, and 2-2 the count.
Yeah, Wiles up to 95, 96 now. Wow. He was only 88 to 91 when he was here. Fortunate to play with that guy. Proud of you, Nate.
The 2-2 hit him. It's the second time that Witherspoon has hit a batter with 2 strikes. So he's walked 2 and hit 2. And the Rebels get to roll the lineup back up to the top. And it's been the fastball both times that have gotten away from Kyson Witherspoon.
Yeah, it seems like the handbrake was a little bit late here. That arm just lagging behind, leaving it up and away on the arm side. See where it gets him here. Kind of tricep area. I don't know. It's still 96 doesn't feel good. I can't break it down.
Pick a spot. And he hits back-to-back batters as Mitchell Sanford gets plunked. And he's been on base twice now. He's walked and been hit by a pitch. And now Kyson Witherspoon. Easton Carmichael's walking out there, but Witherspoon had his back turned. Well, the Rebels have had some chances. They've had at least one base runner in every inning. This is the first time they've had a man in scoring position tonight, and it comes via back-to-back hit by pitches from Kyson Witherspoon.
I think that one there was an overcorrection, right? The arm lags behind, you hit Chang, and he's trying to feel it more out front. Pulls it across his body to hit Sanford in the leg.
So there's Mitchell Sanford. He's walked, been hit by a pitch. Remember, Sanford got caught stealing back in the third. First and second, 2 gone. And that one bounces into the turf, blocked by Easton Carmichael to Luke Hill. Now Skip Johnson's going to come out and chat things over here with Kyson Witherspoon. Probably be a fairly direct conversation. Witherspoon's wanted to come and pitch for Skip Johnson at Oklahoma when they came out of Northwest Florida State College, and it's been a great relationship. Skip Johnson is about the focus and the work, and these two pitchers fit that bill. I mean, they are workers above everything else.
Yeah, Skip raves about him. Kind of an extension of himself. The Witherspoon's helping out in bullpens. They really are buying into what Skip's trying to do. Help some younger guys get along, understand the verbal cues that he presents to them. Great leaders.
1-0 the count to Hill. That'll even things up. Luke Hill, 37 walks, 59 hits, 52 runs, finding him in the top 10 in the SEC in all of those categories. The Rebels and Sooners both just looking for that big hit.
It's a lot of O's on the left side of that stat. Leadoff batter's 0 for 5, runners on 0 for 4.
That one fouled off the instep of Hill's front foot.
Good news, Chad. The ball's between his legs. We can start the game now. I'm saying it's the 5th inning. Game started.
Is that the way it works?
Happens once a game.
Once a game.
Even in slow pitch softball.
That it hits somebody on the instep and rolls between your legs?
No. Just a foul ball between the legs.
Gotcha. That's an official stat or just one that you keep?
That's the official stat of Blake Brewster.
Gotcha.
Keep an eye out for it. Keep an open mind, Chuck.
I try to. Opportunity here for the Rebels. Who's going to be the first team to take advantage? This in the air, shallow center field. Walk races in, but going back is the second baseman, Kyle Branch. And the inning is over. Back-to-back hit batsmen are left stranded, and we're scoreless halfway. 8 strikeouts from Zach Root last night. They're hitting .319 as a ball club, are the Razorbacks. They took game 1 9-0. Carson Bowles hit a home run for Arkansas last night. Chad McKee, Blake Brewster with you from Elldale Mitchell Park, where it's an old-fashioned pitcher's duel. We say that a lot, you know, but there'll be some hits and some runs scored these days. You call that a pitcher's duel? No, this is a pitcher's duel. Each team has 1 hit. Elliott, 60 pitches, 37 of them for strikes, and he's thrown a first pitch strike to 9 of 14 batters so far. Works to Kyle Branch, showing bunt. You like that idea by Kyle Branch there?
Yeah, I do. Elliott's a tough guy to hit. The motion kind of throws everything off, right? It's tough to pick up. Drop a bunt down, see if you can beat it out. Make the Rebels play defense.
Branch takes the strike. 3-1 now. And there's ball 4. Just the 3rd base runner of the night for Oklahoma. And the Sooners have had the leadoff man aboard in each of the last 2 innings. They had the leadoff single by Willits, who eventually advanced around to 3rd but was left stranded in the 4th inning. And now Branch reaches to start the 5th. Mason Hamlin batting for the 2nd time tonight. Flied out his first time up. That wasn't necessarily the A move of Hunter Elliott.
That's a good angle from our team there. It's almost a Bach move. He really uses that 45-degree angle to his advantage. He gets every ounce of it.
Branch is a perfect 12 for 12 in the stolen base department this year. Looks like our plate umpire, Clint Fagan, is doing a little equipment repair. I think that may have happened when he got hit by that foul ball. That's right where it hit him.
We are on the same page.
What do you call that little hanger down thing that comes down? Is there an official name for that little piece of equipment below the mask?
That's the Adams apple guard.
Adams out, the gullet guard.
The gullet guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that Clint Fagan's appreciative that he has one of those.
I don't know, man. I think it squared him up right there on the little U, upside down U in there on the nose piece.
Really? Okay.
I don't remember. That was a couple innings ago.
Yeah, how many foul balls you been hit by?
Plenty. Mostly on the inside part of my leg because I couldn't stay inside the baseball.
Big opportunity here for Mason Hamlin, getting the start at first base tonight. His first start, 12th game in which he has appeared. Hamlin 3 for 7 on the season coming into this game. Having to deal with preseason all SEC lefty Hunter Elliott.
Hamlin had a good swing off Elliott back in the 3rd inning. Took a fastball away, got his arms extended, just right at right fielder Overman.
Three and 1 now to Mason Hamlin. So Elliott growing closer to back-to-back walks to start the 5th inning, dealing with the lower third of the Oklahoma lineup here. And there's ball 4. It is indeed back-to-back walks to start the Oklahoma 5th. See anything different from Hunter Elliott here? Blake, he's doesn't seem to be impacted by very much.
This is a timing issue. Trying to get that release point out front. Seems like he's just trying to work through it this inning instead of just being confident in stuff and just letting it ride. Sooners been kind of getting themselves out tonight. A lot of weak contact.
Joe Mangrum, the first-year pitching coach of the Rebels, out for a visit. And the infielders get in on the conference. In the meantime, Sooner offense huddles up with Reggie Willits right here over on the third base side. Reggie Willits, big leaguer and a big league coach as well. Jackson, of course, the starting Oklahoma shortstop, and Reggie Willits' younger son, Eli, projected first-round draft pick out of Fort Cobb here in Oklahoma. He's an Oklahoma commit, but likely not to see a Sooner uniform, except for the publicity photos that you put on Instagram and on the website.
I'm gonna miss watching him take BP.
Yeah, he's
putting balls over the scoreboard with a wood bat. Kid's good.
Here's Drew Dickerson for Oklahoma. Struck out looking back in the 3rd. Second time the Sooners have had a man in scoring position. Dickerson, as you might imagine, going to show bunt. Pulls this one. Well bunted to 3rd, scooped up by Hill. Everybody's going to be safe. It's a bunt base hit for Drew Dickerson, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. You could not have rolled that out there any better, and Dickerson knows it.
Oh, this is a beauty. Only place to go is down the 3rd base line, and he gets it almost on the dirt. Runs well, Dickerson. Nice job.
So it is walks to Branch and Hamlin, a bunt hit by Drew Dickerson. Nobody out with the bases juiced for Dawson Willis. And he's showing bunt. That brings Furness crashing. He'll pull it back. He'll square and swipe by Willis there. That'll get your attention if you're crashing in from first base, I promise you.
If I'm Will Furness, I'm a little bit nervous after that. He was almost in his kitchen. It comes again.
And again pulls it back and then pulls it foul, and the count is 0-2.
Really like the slash call. Get your eyes focused on the release point, and then you're athletic, right? It kind of takes the the guess out of it. If it's in the zone, you go after it.
You see Willis is 1 for 6 with the bases loaded this year. He slams another one foul. 90-mile-per-hour fastball that time from Hunter Elliott. Second time that Oklahoma's had a man 90 feet away from scoring. On the ground to the shortstop Chang. The Rebels will not turn the double play, and the Sooners will scratch out the first run of the night. It'll be an RBI ground out for Dawson Willis, who's safe at first base, having given his team a 1-0 lead.
Good job by Willis there, just getting the ball in play. It's kind of a slow roller. Chang did a nice job on the feed, but Willis runs extremely well, beating the throw out at first base.
So the first walk, that old leadoff walk, comes home to roost for Oklahoma. And the Sooners take a 1-0 lead. And Austin Foley, the catcher, out to chat. Oklahoma runners at first and third as Kyle Branch scores. Mason Hamlin down at third. Dickerson cut down at second base.
Yeah, if I'm Foley, I'm just telling Hunter Elliott, hey man, one pitch here, ground ball, we get the offense back in. What do you like? What do you want to go to get weak contact on the ground?
Foley out signaling to the corner defenders on the infield what the play is. Dawson Willis driving in another run. He's driven in 6 in his last 5 games, and he's the man over at first base now for the Sooners. Here's Trey Gamble, 0 for 2 tonight. He has flied to center and grounded to first base, and he rips this one into right field. Hamlin will come in to score run number 2. Willis is on his way to third. He'll slide in safe, and it's an RBI single for Trey Gamble, giving the Sooners a 2-0 lead.
Gamble not waiting long on that one. Gets a fastball middle of plate. We'll see another look at it. It's going to be elevated. Middle. Stays stacked. Flips the hands over for his 21st RBI of the year.
Crowd is energized at L. Dale Mitchell Park. The home team has grabbed a 2-0 lead off one of the best pitchers in the country. The Sooners have 2 hits in the inning. The man who has their other hit tonight is at the plate. That's Jackson Willits. He singled back in the 4th.
Great job. Great job by the bottom part of this lineup. 2 walks. Branch, Hamlin, Dickerson laying a great bunt down the third base line to flip this thing over. Got first and third, 1 out.
And Willits pushes this one foul. Both of the runs that scored reached on walks to start the inning. It was back-to-back walks. Branch and Hamlin, they both scored. The bunt popped up and caught by Elliott. The runners have to dive back to their respective bases to prevent a double play. And that's a big out for Hunter Elliott and the Rebels to get Jackson Willits on a popped up bunt.
Yeah, it's going to go late show, try to safety squeeze. Seems like he kind of jabs at it. Moves that barrel underneath the baseball. Good job by Elliott securing the catch. I like that he didn't try to get Gamble back at first base. That could cause more harm than good. Nice job. Get your next batter, ground ball and you're out.
And that next batter is Easton Carmichael, the All-American Sooner catcher, who's 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs to the shortstop Chang tonight. Hunter Elliott had allowed just 1 hit prior to this inning. He's given up 2 hits and 2 runs but it's the walks that have really cost him. Breaking pitch has popped up on the infield. The first baseman Furness over near the Rebels dugout. Slides down but hangs on, and the inning is over. The Sooners strike first, though. 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 men left, and it's 2-0 Oklahoma, moving to the 6th. Runs have been hard to come by against 2 of the best pitchers in the country, but Oklahoma's striking for a pair. This an RBI bases loaded ground out by Dawson Willis to score run number 1. Al Branch had drawn a walk to start the inning, and then Trey Gamble comes through with Oklahoma's 3rd hit of the night. An RBI single scoring Mason Hamlin, and that's where we sit. 2-0. Back to the mound goes Kyson Witherspoon, who has hit 3 batters in this game. He's walked a couple, but he's only given up 1 hit. Rebels had 2 men aboard in the 5th, but could not get to him. Will Furness walked in the 1st, struck out in the 4th. And he's down in the count 0-2 against Witherspoon.
He's trying to cut this lead in half. 2 really big swings, on time with them both. I like watching this guy hit. He's powerful.
7 home runs on the year for Furness. 1-2 the count on him. His dad Eddie, a legend at LSU. He's in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Went there back in 2010. Will hit 9 home runs a season ago. Looks like he's going to better that mark in 2025. Rips this one, but right at the Oklahoma 3rd baseman, Dawson Willis. Not a complete shift, but certainly further towards second base than he would typically be, would you say, Blake?
No, really good position. He's in the 6th hole, almost a shortstop position. Great swing by Furness, on time with the fastball yet again. Any other time of day, that's a knock.
Here's Judd Utermark, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out tonight. Bounce this one 3rd base way. Utermark leads this team with 14 multi-RBI games and the 13 home runs. Part of that recruiting class that came in after the Rebels won the national title in 2022.
Not your prototypical second baseman. 6'4", power guy. Plays the position extremely well, though.
2-1 the count to Utermark. And the count is all square. 2 balls and 2 strikes. How quickly college rosters change, Blake, in the day of the transfer portal. Of course, the draft and other things have long affected college baseball rosters, but there's not one offensive player in this 3-game series who played when these 2 teams met in Omaha 3 years ago. There's strike 3. Kyson Witherspoon is retired. Furness and the cleanup man Utermark to start the 6th.
Good pitch. Let's look at it again. It's going to be the fastball up and in. Freezes him. Utermark didn't like the call, but I'm thinking it catches his own.
7 strikeouts for Kyson Witherspoon tonight. 99 for him on the season. He goes to work against Isaac Humphrey. Humphrey's 0 for 1. Fly to the left fielder Gamble back in the 2nd, and then got hit by a pitch in the 4th. That'll square things at a ball and a strike. Still a lot of gas in the tank for Kyson Witherspoon. Just over 80 pitches. Got 2 balls and a strike. Oklahoma 4.40 as a staff, the earned run average, but Kyson Witherspoon is second individually in the SEC with a 2.35. He was a swimmer in high school for a bit as well. Didn't know that one, did you? About Kyson Witherspoon.
Look at you just dropping knowledge.
Played for Team USA, as did his brother Malachi, in the Team USA International Friendship Series against Chinese Taipei this past summer. And there's ball 4. Isaac Humphrey is aboard for the second time tonight. Though he has been very good, Kyson Witherspoon has not had a traditional 1-2-3 inning tonight. Now, he faced only 3 guys back in the 3rd inning, but he gave up a walk and then had a runner thrown out stealing. So the Rebels have had base runners in every inning, including with 2 outs here in the 6th. That ties a season high in walks for Kyson Witherspoon with 3.
Matches that number in hit by pitches this game as well.
Austin Foley had the Rebels' lone hit so far when he singled up the middle with 1 out in the 2nd inning.
It hasn't been clean, but he's dealt with the adversity extremely well. When he's needed to make a pitch, he's made the pitch. He had a visit by Skip a couple innings ago to get him back right. He ended up finishing the inning with runners on 1st and 2nd.
Pitch count approaching 90. You think what it might be without all of the walks and hit batsmen that have extended that total.
Right. A lot of deep counts, too.
But the pitch count not a problem. He's thrown at least 90 pitches in every start that he has made, and he's been over 100 3 times this year.
And with the high being on 107, got to think Skip extends him out as long as he feels comfortable. Get this game in the hands of Dylan Crooks. Feel pretty good about it.
Jamie Hitt is up and throwing in the Oklahoma bullpen. Very good left-hander. 2 strikes here on Austin Foley. Austin Foley's out of West Palm Beach, Florida, so a couple of Floridians doing battle here. Foley's got that pop. Home runs in 7 of his last 11 games. 13 home runs is the most by a catcher under Mike Bianco. This is part of that veteran power leadership that Coach Bianco brought in. 94 miles an hour on that fastball.
Velo's dropped a bit. Foley on top of that one. Gotta think he might go to the off speed to put him away here.
Eighth strikeout for Kyson Witherspoon. He strikes out 2 in the 6th. Gives up a walk, but maintains a 2-0 lead for the Sooners.
He does. Goes to the slider. It's a good one. Expands his zone into the left-hander batter's box. Gets Foley to swing.
Another wonderful Friday night SEC baseball environment as we welcome you back to L. Dale Mitchell Park in Norman. Fans getting into this pitcher's duel between Hunter Elliott of Ole Miss, Kyson Witherspoon of Oklahoma. Sooners scratching out a pair of runs against Elliott. And he'll try to hold this Sooner offense right there. Sam Christensen, Jason Walk, Kyle Branch due to come to the plate here for the Sooners. Numbers for Elliott tonight: 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned with 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. This one pulled fair into the glove of Furness for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Sam Christensen is 0 for 3.
Yeah, Hunter Elliott's got his number tonight.
So important to get a Friday night good start in the SEC. You can get your bullpen really beat up going into game number 2, but that's not going to be the case for these two teams, barring an extra innings game, because the starters have lasted into the 6th.
And really for Elliott, it's been that one bad inning, right? Back-to-back walks in the 5th. Didn't get a base hit bunt, kind of tough to deal with that one, but has settled in nicely. Done a really good job throughout this start, keeping guys off balance, making the Sooner hitters scratch their heads.
Jason Walk drew a walk in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. One and 2. Both these teams have trusted arms out in the bullpen. Though Jason Walk swings and misses there. Strike 3. Of course, Ole Miss now down Braden Jones, unfortunately, with that injury that he suffered in the midweek game against Austin Peay. Strikeout number 4 here for Elliott, Blake.
Yeah, it's a changeup away and a good one. See Walk kind of reaching, a little bit of overswing there. Fastball out of the hand, trying to get timed up to it. Fades away from his barrel.
Kyle Branch started the Oklahoma rally with a leadoff walk in the 5th and came in to score the first run of the night on an RBI ground out by Dawson Willis. One and 1 the count to the Oklahoma second baseman. As we talked about, Kyle Branch, a plus defender coming in as an Oklahoma Sooner, but got out to a good offensive start. He was the MVP down in Round Rock as Oklahoma had 2 top 10 wins in that event. They beat Oregon State and Virginia back to back. Both those teams were in the top 10 nationally at the time.
Yeah, led this Oklahoma offense in hitting for probably 4-5 weeks to the start of the season.
2 and 2 the count. Elliott's given 3 walks. And there's strike 3 called. Breaking ball. 5 strikeouts now for Hunter Elliott. He strikes out the final 2 Sooner batters in the 6th inning and holds Oklahoma's offense where it was.
Had the slider working that hole at bat. You're going to see another good one here at the bottom of the zone. Paint right at the knees.
Themselves into that.
You're absolutely right. Gosh, just there's so much baseball still to be played. We could be looking back at this and they end up in the 30s, but they can also end up in the top 5, man. It's crazy.
How many teams have 13 RPI top 50 wins? You know, they beat Clemson, which was ranked 15. Played Texas early and beat them when they were ranked 19. A win against a top 25 Arizona team. They, like Oklahoma, just got off running out of the chute against high caliber competition. Southern Miss, they beat them when they were ranked in the top 25. I mean, that's a resume. But a chance to build it with every game that you play in the SEC. 9 games remaining starting tonight, plus whatever you play in Hoover at the SEC Championship.
Put so much emphasis on that non-conference schedule. Got to find a way to play high caliber talent and win. So you get into this conference play and it's just brutal. Week in and week out. Pro level competition.
Aiden Federico has struck out twice tonight against Kyson Witherspoon, who has 8 strikeouts. It is the 8th time this year that he has had 7 or more strikeouts. Beg your pardon, the 9th time he has done that. And he's now at 100 strikeouts for the year, is this Oklahoma right-hander. Federico battling away with him, though. Likely will go over 100 pitches in this inning. Federico rifles this one out toward left center field, but Gamble is right there to chase it down for the first out.
Good swing by Federico there. Any other day, I think that's off the wall or even has a chance. Tonight, ball's just dying to left.
Here's Ryan Moorman. Moorman is 0 for 2 in this one with a strikeout. This one fouled off. Mike Bianco talking about these veteran guys from other schools bring that immediate value, play every day from the get-go. And then you have the guys already on this Ole Miss roster like a Will Furness, who's been around 3 years. You know, pitchers like Connor Spencer and Hunter Elliott. He said that, you know, they've been kicked in the gut a couple of times over the last couple of years, and he said perspectives are really an amazing thing sometimes. And when you mix guys like this together, you get a good season. That is a sky-high fly ball that Jason Walk puts away off the bat of Moorman for the second out.
Yeah, Walk lost it for a little bit. It was a big league pop-up by Moorman. Probably had a 10-second hang time. Felt like it was in the air forever.
Man, lucky that one didn't catch fire on re-entry into the atmosphere.
Heat shields were up.
Thank goodness. Base is empty and 2 gone for the number 9 batter, Luke Chang, the shortstop. He got hit by a pitch in the 5th. That was really the best threat the Rebels have had when in this same situation with 2 outs and the bases clear. Witherspoon hit Chang and then hit Sanford. And that is, for the Rebels, the only time they've had a man in scoring position against Kyson Witherspoon.
Pitches on the night. Got a 64% strike rate, Chad.
You'll take that.
It's the only math I can do.
Well done on your part, though. It's the 4th time that Witherspoon's been over 100 pitches in a start this year. 107, the high against Mississippi State. And he scoops that one up. Easy little flip over there. And Chang is retired. That's the first 1-2-3 inning that he's worked tonight. And the first time they have met as SEC mates. Lower third of the order coming to the plate here for the Sooners. And this is the part of the lineup that gave Hunter Elliott problems back in the 5th inning. Mason Hamlin walked, and he leads off and shows bunt.
He matches up well. He's got 4 pop-ups, 3 strikeouts mixed in with a bottom 3.
Hamlin scored on the base hit by Trey Gamble back in the 5th. 1-1 the count. Like Witherspoon, Elliott is also approaching 100 pitches. 99 in his start last weekend against Vanderbilt. His victory is a season high for Hunter Elliott.
I think at this point it's been a really good outing. He's just trying to stretch this thing as long as he can go. Keep it right there at 2 runs. Give his bullpen a break. See if he can win this game late.
He's also about to pass his season high in innings pitched. Longest outing is 6 innings against Eastern Kentucky. So he has matched that. Hamlin battling away, flied out to right field in the 2nd before walking and scoring in the 5th. His first start for Mason Hamlin. He's been effective in the chances he's gotten for Skip Johnson this year. Went after it, chased one up and out of the zone. That is 3 straight strikeouts for Hunter Elliott when you go back to the 6th inning.
Yeah, elevates the fastball here, gets a defensive swing from Hamlin. It's the one you kind of just predetermine that you're swinging, can't stop. Oh no, it's a ball.
Is that what goes through your head when you face that?
Yeah, absolutely. You think about it all the way back to the dugout.
Drew Dickerson laid down a perfect sacrifice bunt that turned into a bunt base hit as part of Oklahoma's rally in the 5th. He also struck out back in the 3rd. Big hack at that one. Comes up empty, and it's 1-2. Drew Dickerson, freshman out of Lee's Summit, Missouri. He can put on a show in batting practice. Had 7 hits in Oklahoma's weekend sweep of Missouri a couple of weeks ago, but he's out on strikes, and that is 4 straight punch-outs now for Hunter Elliott. He's picking up steam as he rolls over 100 pitches.
Aging like fine wine in this outing. Goes back to the fastball. Expanded zone, gets Dickerson swinging. Really gutsy outing to this point.
Good way to put it. Just the 2 walks that came home to score in the 5th inning. And he faces Dawson Willis, who drove in the first run of the game with an RBI ground out to the shortstop Chang in the 5th. Six runs driven in his last 5 games. 4-hit game against Georgia last weekend. And 1-1 the count to him. Top of the order, waiting to bat, Trey Gamble. He had an RBI single his last time up. Willis trying to work his way aboard. He has really utilized his speed a good deal for the Sooners this year. May get a chance to do it again. That's 3-1. 15 stolen bases for Willis. You see Gamble waiting for another crack. We'll see if Elliott can bear down, though. Instead, it's ball 4. 2-out walk rolls the lineup over. And here's Gamble, who drove in that second run with a base hit to right in the 5th.
Elliott rolling through this inning, then just loses command.
That's going to do it. Mike Bianco is out of the bullpen. And the move is coming here for the Rebels. Looks like he's calling for the right-hander from the pen. Skipping into the game is going to be Will McCausland. Get checked by the second base umpire before he enters. Good night for Hunter Elliott once again, but he leaves trailing 2-0. We'll recap his night when we return to Norman. 6 2/3 good innings tonight for Hunter Elliott. He leaves trailing this game, but boy, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. The walks, 4 of them were a problem, and he punched out 7 guys tonight.
It was one bad inning, right? 5th, back-to-back walks. Just kind of lost command in that inning. Couldn't get back, but really a solid outing for him. Didn't want to come out of this game. Wanted this last batter. The pitch count was up to 106, as you can see. Just a competitor.
Yeah, great way to put it. Most pitches and innings that he has thrown this season. And he gives way to the reliable junior transfer from St. Joseph's. That is Will McCausland, who faces Trey Gamble. Gamble, the RBI single in the 5th. He's also fly to center and grounded to first base. So here's McCausland.
6 foot 190. On the year's 2-0, 5.28 ERA, 40 strikeouts to just 6 walks. Fastball's 91 to 92.
Had 2 good years at St. Joseph's. He was on the Atlantic 10 All-Rookie team 2 years ago. Mainly a starter, 29 starts over 2 seasons at St. Joseph's. But this is a stacked starting rotation for Ole Miss with Elliott and Maddox and Mason Nichols. Chance for Oklahoma to get a little separation. There goes Willis on the move, slides in head first, and he is out, gunned down by Foley. What a throw that was. Good pitch to throw, and Willis is thrown out for the 7th time this season. Inning over. Sooners lead it 2-0 as we move to the 8th in Norman. It was interesting. And I think the Rebels are happy to not see him anymore. However, they're going to see a good right-hander in Jason Bowden. That's 7 innings that Witherspoon's gone in 3 of his last 4 starts. And he's in position to pick up his 9th win of the year. Bowden, 22nd appearance for this guy. How reliable has he been for Skip Johnson?
He's been really good. It's a good arm out of A&M. 2-1 on the year, 5.33 ERA, but that doesn't really speculate on what he's been doing for Skip Johnson this year. 27 innings, 28 strikeouts to 8 walks.
They gave him a couple of weeks off in late March to mid-April, but he's been just about lights out since coming back. He pitched in all 3 games of the Georgia series last weekend. And he goes to work against the top of the lineup here for the Rebels. Sanford, Hill, and Furness. Hard hit ground ball, but right at Kyle Branch. And Oklahoma has also got one of the best closers in the country in Dylan Crooks, who's got 10 saves. Might be Luke Hill's last chance to extend that streak to 30 straight reaching base. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a line out, and a pop-up tonight. And he has extended it with a 1-out single to right field. Second hit of the ball game for the Rebels. It comes with 1 away in the 8th inning from Luke Hill. And the streak reaches 30 games.
Happy to see that. Gets a fastball early in the count. This close to middle, right at the belt. Keeps the hands inside, shoots it through the 4-hole.
And just like that, the Rebels, I mean, you've got the heart of the lineup coming to the plate. The game is right there to be won.
This kid could tie it up right here.
Will Furness 0 for 2. A walk and a strikeout tonight. Great play there by Easton Carmichael. averaging 8 per game, but none tonight against Witherspoon. Nice play there by Mason Hamlin to scoop up that low throw off the turf from Bowden. One thing that Bowden really does is he comes up with strikeouts when he needs them. He's got 28 strikeouts in 27 innings this season. Roller to the short, to the third baseman, I should say, Willis. And the Sooners roll over their 32nd double play of the year to get out of the inning. 5-4 to 3, and just like that, any threat has been squelched by Jason Bowden and the Sooner defense.
It's a cap shot. Seems like Willis had a good transfer. Nice turn by Jackson Willis to strike over to Hamlin at first for the third out.
In Hoover, all 16 teams will be there, so make your plans to be there as well. These teams playing for seeding and how that's going to stack up. 2-0 Sooners on top. They would love to have some insurance. Will McCausland back out there. He got the caught stealing to close things. The details: single elimination. Seeds 1 through 4 get the double bye, and 5 through 8 would receive the opening round bye. It's way too early to figure out where these teams might be. All we can tell you is coming into the night, Ole Miss was in a tie for 5th, Oklahoma in a tie for 9th. But that's going to change with this result, even because these two teams were separated by 1 game in the loss column. Trey Gamble was at the plate when Dawson Willis was cut down stealing for the final out in the 7th. He goes after that one. Swing and a miss. That is the first strikeout. The first batter retired at the plate by Will McCausland. Once again, here's the way it would look if it started today. It does not. And I don't know, the odds of it being exactly like this with 8 more games for both these teams after tonight, I think the odds are 0 that actually looks like this when we get to Hoover. What do you think, Blake?
I'm with you. And I think it just speaks to how good this league it really is. Matchup every single week. Everybody's just so good. Tight in the standings. It could go either any way.
All the games could go anyway. And it could be a team that needs to win to get to the NCAA tournament. These two teams are both going to be there. But you could make a run.
With a single elimination, Mizzou could come out and win 4 games straight and get hot.
Now that would be a run. Jackson Willits tonight 1 for 3. He had a base hit back in the 4th, advanced around to third base, but was left stranded. Two balls, 2 strikes to the Oklahoma shortstop. And strike 3 swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Will McCausland coming out of that bullpen.
His fastball elevated up and in. Gets above the barrel of Jackson Willits. Just late. Foot strike was down as the ball's passing his bat.
How about 42 strikeouts and 6 walks for Will McCausland this year? Base is clear, 2 gone. Here's Easton Carmichael, who's 0 for 3.
Good slider there at 86, kind of get me over.
This is just a strike throw. He's up there saying have some. And 0-2 on the Sooner catcher Carmichael.
You're absolutely right, man. It's a young pitcher's trying to figure it out. Your stuff is your stuff. It's how well can you locate it and in what counts. I mean, we've seen 2 really good arms from Ole Miss tonight, just going out there and competing.
Cosland and his teammates on the infield were headed back to the dugout. Not just yet. Pulled outside to Carmichael. Rebels are down to their final 3 outs. They'll have the middle third of the lineup in the 9th. But Easton Carmichael trying to make sure that doesn't happen for a while. He will not. So McCausland strikes out the side in the 8th inning and gets his team back to the bats with 3 outs to try to get 2-game series. And they have one of the best closers in the country coming in to finish things if he can. That's Dylan Crooks. 10 saves. That is 6th most nationally, an ERA of 1.59 to close out what's been a brilliant pitching night. 2 Sooners have preceded him. Headlining it was Kyson Weatherspoon, and now it's Dylan Crooks' job to try to go out and get his 11th save.
Yeah, this is a guy that is a bulldog. 23 strikeouts to 8 walks, 1.59 ERA on the year, 22 2/3 innings. He sat on 9 saves for a while, it seems like, but it's another opportunity where he just thrives in. Comes in, pounds the zone, has good stuff, and lets it work.
You know, he had a stretch where Oklahoma played 6 consecutive games decided by run rule, and they couldn't get Dylan Crooks out there for about 10 days. But he got into the Georgia series and picked up a save in Oklahoma's opening game win there. He'll gun for his 11th of the season here tonight. And defensive changes. Sooners gonna just kind of solidify things out there and put Desan Harris replacing Drew Dickerson in right for the 9th. But the Rebels, it's still there for them. Middle third of the order. Juddy Utermark, Isaac Humphrey, and Austin Foley to face Crooks. Dylan Crooks' brother Jimmy was one of the driving forces of that Oklahoma team that advanced all the way to face Ole Miss in the College World Series Finals in 2022. Sooners then had 11 players drafted after that national runner-up season. 1-1 the count here to Utermark. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, both of them against Kyson Witherspoon. One and 2 now to Judd Utermark.
It's a good slider there at 83. Expanded the zone in the outer half.
Pulled to third. Willis with the backhand. And on target for the first out of the 9th.
Really good sequence there by Crooks. Keeping Utermark off balance. Everything's away, and it's mostly off speed. Nothing he can handle. It's a rollover ground out to third base.
How about this really closed setup that Dylan Crooks? What makes it challenging as a hitter when he comes set?
It's interesting because he kind of throws from the first base side of the rubber, but he almost hides the ball behind his whole body. Really breathing through his eyelids like the Galapagos lizards.
Yes. This one hit off the end of the bat, foul by Humphrey. He almost closes it more with those 2 jab steps that he takes before he comes set.
Get a good look at it here. Does. His back is almost to the batter.
Ooh, that one rifled off the facing of the Rebels dugout over there on the first base side.
You know who else used to do that? Jason Ruffcorn used to do that through from a high 3/4 slot, let a heavy arm side run.
Former Oklahoma closer, as it turns out, as well. That one bounces away from Carmichael. It's the count 1 and 2. Isaac Humphrey has been on base twice. He flied to left field back in the 2nd, then got hit by pitch in the 4th and walked in the 6th inning. The Rebels have had a base runner in all but one inning tonight. Only a 1-2-3 7th inning. Goes after high heat. Down on strikes. 2 gone.
This is just a well-executed high fastball up in the zone to get above the barrel of Isaac Humphrey. Setting it up throughout that whole at bat, stayed off speed, and then elevates for strike 3.
9 strikeouts for Oklahoma pitching. Kyson Witherspoon fanned at 7 and gave just 1 hit. Beg your pardon, he fanned 8 in 7 innings and gave just 1 hit. And now it's Dylan Crooks, 1 out away from picking up his 11th save of the year. Austin Foley had a base hit back in the 2nd. 1 of 2 hits for the Rebels tonight. Two balls, no strikes. A walk would get the potential tying run to the plate. And there's ball 3. Oklahoma got 2 runs back in the bottom of the 5th inning. RBI ground out by Dawson Willis and an RBI single by Trey Gamble. That is all of the scoring. Had a pitcher's duel between Kyson Witherspoon and Hunter Elliott. And the potential tying run's going to come to the plate here in the 9th for Ole Miss as Foley walks. It was a 4-pitch walk. So Foley's on base for the 2nd time tonight. And Hayden Federico, the potential tying run, stands in. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Switch hitter going to hit from the left side. Have some pop. Chance to tie this game up. Wind's carrying to the right field foul pole tonight. See if he can get one elevated.
Rebels have had some chances. Remember, Witherspoon, though he struck out 8, he walked 3 and hit 3. And so Ole Miss has stranded 6 runners on base. But they've only had a man in scoring position 1 time tonight. That was back in the 5th on back-to-back hit batsmen. 0-2. Sooner fans rising to their feet at L. Mitchell Park. Oklahoma trying to close out a series opening win over the 23rd ranked Ole Miss Rebels. There's an interesting reaction there from Federico.
Thought he might got hit trying to sell it, taking a couple steps down the line. One plate umpire, Clint Fagan, not having it.
Either that or he thought he struck out. Swing and a miss. Dylan Crooks saves it, and Oklahoma wins the series opener. Crooks walks 1 but strikes out 2 and picks up his 11th save of the year. And it's Oklahoma's first win in Norman against Ole Miss since the Sooners won a national title in 1994. It's also the Rebels' first visit to Norman since that season. The Sooners scratch out those 2 runs we told you about in the bottom of the 5th inning, but it's Kyson Witherspoon's night once again. Blake, he goes 7 innings, strikes out 8, walks 3, hits 3, throws 100.